Joining us live is the CEO of the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Andrew McKellar. Andrew, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So let's keep that conversation going. We just had the Treasurer on the program. He seems to now be opening up a little bit of distance from comments that he and when he was in opposition making about pledging that real wages were going to go up. Seems to be trying to move away from that. That's an indication of how tough the climate is at the moment. Does that surprise you?
Good morning, Pete. Look, it doesn't surprise me. I think it is a touch of realism in the Treasurer's comments, and I think what he's reflecting is we are facing real supply-side pressures in the economy at the moment. We are seeing price increases occurring. We're seeing inflation rising, and we're seeing the cost of doing business going up. So in those circumstances, we've got to be very careful about how we manage those pressures going forward. We've got to try and break this inflation stick once again because we don't want to get into a situation where inflation is escalating.
What about his plans to review the RBA and your thoughts on whether that's a good move and if Philip Lowe's the right man to lead it?
Look, I think it is a good move to review the RBA and the mission that it's undertaking. We need a strong, effective, independent Reserve Bank. And I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. We do have to look at, the approach that the Reserve Bank has taken to policy. They've come in for some criticism from a number of sources for some of the indications that they've made in the past. I don't think those go to the substance of the review. But look, it's timely to make sure that it's pointed in the right direction.
OK, the ANZ, Andrew, forecasting the cash rate to hit 3.35% by Christmas. Fairly dramatic. What's that going to do for business if that turns out to be true?
Well, I think it is inevitable that we will see interest rates continuing to increase. They've been very low for a long period of time. We've had very low or negative real interest rates in Australia. So we've got to see that come back to a more normal level. Of course, if it pushes up at that rate, if some of those forecasts are right, then it will start to put pressure on households in some cases and on some businesses. So you've got to remember, particularly for small businesses, in many cases, those people are capitalising their business through their mortgage. They're borrowing against their home to invest in their business. If interest rates start going up, it's going to put pressure on those balance sheets.
Okay.
We do expect to see business insolvencies rising.
Oh, wow. Okay. No doubt about that. We're getting squeezed for time, Andrew, but I've got to get your thoughts on COVID. The advice is for more people to work from home now, given the case rises. Is that a good idea?
Look, I think working from home, many businesses are still doing that. We've got to walk a very fine line here. We are seeing hospitalisations rising back to nearly record levels. I think people have got to be reminded, the most effective thing you can do is make sure your vaccinations are up to date. If you're out in public, if you're out mixing with people, wear a mask. And I think if we take that advice, we will help to keep the lid on what is, at the moment, quite a worrying trend.
Sure, but I mean, from a revenue point of view, from a business point of view, does this make any difference? And if so, what difference does it make if you work from home or if you have to wear a mask indoors?
Working from home can have an impact, particularly in the central business districts. You've got many shops and cafes and restaurants who are looking for customer trade. They've gone through a very tough period. So I think we really do have to arrive at a solution where we're living with COVID sustainably and we're managing that. So I think we've got to take heed of what the health authorities are saying. We've got to raise awareness at the moment. We can't be complacent because if this gets out of control, we run the risk of seeing more restrictive measures, and that will be the worst thing for the economy if we have to go back into those sorts of situations.
Andrew, we'll leave it there. Andrew McKellar there, thank you.